Hey guys, welcome back to the ToughCess podcast. It's your girl Suma, and this podcast is brought to you by Suma Speaks. Over here, we are listening to the journeys of different people, understanding the different angles to success, so we can all build better and become the greater versions of ourselves. So today I'm here again by myself, and today's topic is going to be quick and fast. Just wanted to come and shake the tables a little bit, you know how we do around here. So today's topic is about being intentional. We have the people that take their time with things, go with the flow, doers and all that good stuff. And we have people that are intentional. And what I mean by intentional is you actually, think about what you want to achieve and you make an intention to achieve that thing and you go for it. You're intentional about stuff. You're not just doing it. It's not just something that you kind of fell into or whatever. You knew that you wanted to do that thing and you did it, That's what being intentional is. And some people just take their time with stuff and go with the flow with things. And that's also okay in certain circumstances and in a certain context. But I feel like in terms of success, if you want to be successful, a successful person, and we're talking success in all departments, being a successful friend, being a successful, parent, being a successful partner, all of these things, in order to do them, you have to be intentional about what you want. You have to be intentional about what you want to achieve out of that thing. Going with the flow with stuff sometimes can lead to kind of like issues because you're not intentional about what you want to achieve. And I was just thinking about what topic I actually wanted to talk about, and I thought this one was important because I feel like a lot of us, we like the idea of success. We like the idea of getting a nice car or a nice house, but you can't achieve these things without being intentional. For example, if you want to, buy property, or you want to, buy a house and buy a car, whatever, you have to be intentional. You have to think about, okay, what do I have to do to get to that point? Is my credit score good? Am I saving the money to get there? What area do I want the house in, etc. You're being intentional. But if you was just going with the flow, would you achieve it? Probably not. Or even if you do, it'll take longer than it needs to, a lot of us talk so much about flying that we never actually take off. And this is the problem with us. We love to glamorize things. We like to think too much about it. We like to just start like dream about stuff, etc. But we don't actually do anything to get there. We don't make steps towards what we actually want to achieve. We're not intentional about becoming the greater versions of ourselves. We just like the idea of it, and that is not good enough. There are people doing their thing. There are people achieving big things. Why can't you? And you got to look at, your mindset. You got to look at the things that you're doing, the habits that you have, the things that you're doing differently to the ones that are successful, And I think a big part is it starts with intention. It starts with the intention to do something. It starts with being intentional. I seen a quote that said, when you're green, you grow, but when you're ripe, you rot. And that was quite interesting because it was like, I was thinking a lot about it, and I was thinking about the meaning of it and etc. And it's like, a lot of us think we are ready, we're ready for things, but are we really ready? And how are we getting ourselves ready? Because we think we're ready, we're just rotting in one position. We're not actually trying to move. We're not actually trying to grow. We're not trying to get ourselves to the next level, But when you actually see yourself as a student in life, someone that is always learning, someone that is being intentional about growing, achieving things, that's when you actually start to move from A to B, and that's when things start to happen for you. So I think a lot of us need to start being more intentional about the things that we want to achieve in life and where we want to go and what we want to do, who we want to surround ourselves around, what we want out of life, because things aren't going to just come to you. You have to actually be intentional about receiving them things. And you've got to think about how you're perceiving yourself as well. Do you see yourself as someone that is worthy of receiving good things? Do you see yourself as someone that is worthy of achieving big things? Because I'm not gonna lie, sometimes I go through phases where I'm like, can I even get to where I want to be? Should I just go with the flow with things? Sometimes I start getting lazy. I'm not doing things the way I used to do, and I'll start losing structure, and I'll just kind of be like, yeah, blasé about stuff. Let's just go with the flow. I'm sure I'll get there. But I can't do that if I want to actually get to where I need to be. I actually have to continuously be intentional, continuously think about, okay, what is it that I want, and that's why I've always held on to my quote, which has always been on my bio. If you followed me on Instagram for the longest, you'll know that my bio says hold the vision and trust the process. You have to hold on to that vision and you have to trust the process. The process is going to come with so many different things. I was sat with a client recently and we were talking about this. We were talking about, because the person was kind of going through certain things in terms of like how they're feeling regarding their career, how they feel like everyone else is doing stuff but they're not doing anything. They feel kind of stagnant, and etc. They know what they want out of their life, but they don't know like how they're going to get there, etc. And we were talking about different ways of seeing stuff and shifting your mentality and having a different perspective of stuff. Sometimes you're doing the wrong things, and that is just the truth, guys. A lot of us try to make excuses for things like, oh, it's because of this that I can't do this, and it's because of that. When are you going to stop blaming everyone else for you failing or you not getting to where you need to be? You need to take accountability at some point, and you need to think about, okay, what am I doing wrong? Where am I actually going wrong? What can I do to improve myself? What can I do to better myself? Is it that I'm not learning enough? Is it that I'm not putting myself out there enough? Is it that I'm not, being intentional? Am I just the go with the flow type of person? If you go with the flow, you'll end up lost. And nobody's going to come and collect you from that lost island. You are the one that needs to find yourself all the way back. And that is long. Before you get lost, before you start, losing direction and just doing whatever, going with the flow, following the crowd, think about what is it that you want. Think about you. Think about how you want your life to look and start showing up as that person. As the quote says, visualize your higher self and show up as her. Show up as her daily. It is difficult. I get it. I understand. I mean, I'm sat here without any makeup. Normally I come in, I put in effort, I do my makeup and stuff. But the reason why I didn't come in with makeup today is because I was like, I look cute regardless. And this is how I'm going to show up today. And that's okay. But when it comes to success, you have to show up. You have to show up daily. And it's hard. Even though I'm here without makeup, I am here, guys. I am here and I'm doing what I said I was going to do. And that is the whole point. You need to make steps towards things. You need to say to yourself, okay, this is what I want. This is what I'm going to achieve. And this is what I'm going to get. Period. Nobody's going to do it for you. Stop feeling sorry for yourself. I've said this on Suma Speaks. The self-pity that, oh my gosh, I'm not worthy of it. Oh my gosh, like I'm not, I'm too fat, or I need to go to the gym. I need to lose weight, or when I'm this size, I'm going to get to this. I'm going to start taking more pictures. When I feel more confident, I'm going to start doing things. And, when I achieve this degree, that's when I'm going to start living my best life. When I get married, that's when I'm going to go on holiday. No, honey, what if you never get married? And that is that is just how the cookie crumbles for some people, and it is what it is. What if you never lose weight? What if it's just one of them ones where, that's just how you are and you have to accept it? What if you never get to these places? Are you just going to sit there and waste your life because you haven't got into these little things that's bothering you? You're letting these little things get to your head, etc., etc. What if you just never get these things? You're not going to just waste your life. You have to do something about it. You have to move forward. You have to think about the next things to kind of make yourself the greater version of yourself, So start being intentional. Stop feeling sorry for yourself. Stop making excuses for things. It's not worth it. You're just going to make life harder for yourself because everyone else is going to be going to the next step, going to the next phases of their life. And you're just going to be there like stagnant, And you should want more for yourself. You should know your potential, and you should keep telling yourself that you're going to make it, you're going to get there, you know. Going back to the client I was speaking to, because I kind of feel like I derailed a little bit. We were speaking about different things, and one thing that I said to her that really stood out to me was, you know, sometimes you can have like a destination, but you don't really know which door you're trying to get into, you know, because she has a career path in mind, but she doesn't know what exactly she wants to do. What is the exact thing she wants to do? And I was like, that's okay. You know, sometimes you kind of know which street you're going on, but you don't know which door exactly you're going to knock on. You don't know the address of the person. You're on the street, but you don't know exactly where you're going. That's all right. But as long as you're on the street, you know, you have an idea of like the fact that you're in the right path. But going with the flow, you know, you'll end up just anywhere. And that's how people lose themselves. That's how people just follow the crowd and follow what everyone else is doing. You are your own unique person. God has created you with a purpose that you need to fulfill. You are still here for a reason. Every single day people are passing away. Every single day you hear bad things. Every single day something bad is happening in the world, but you're still here. You are watching this video. You're listening to this podcast. Clearly you want something great for yourself, you know? So why aren't you maximizing your potential? If it's money, go and find a job and work, you know? If it's time, create time. If it's people, go and network, you know, go and find people, put yourself out there. Until you can say you've done all these things, don't come and tell me about you being unsuccessful or whatever, because you've not tried enough. You're not being intentional about growth. You're not being intentional about getting to the next point. You're just going with the flow, and that is the reality of life. You're going with the flow because you're hoping that one day things will just kind of fall into your lap and it'll all be okay. No, honey, that is not how it works. You have to be intentional. So that is my little video for today. I didn't want to keep this too long. The message needs to be heard properly, and it needs to sink into your brain. Because if I start waffling too much now, you guys will not take what I'm actually saying, and I really want you to hear what I'm saying. It is a journey. It's not something that comes easily. You have to practice it daily. Be mindful as well, you know, be kind of aware of your thoughts, the thoughts that come into your head, and guard them, because that is how you get to the next point. If I just said to myself, I can't be bothered today, I'm not going to come, that is me just going with the flow. I have lost my structure, I've lost my routine, and we're back to square one. Why would I want that for myself? You know I have a goal in mind. I have a vision, and I'm holding on to that vision, and I'm trusting the process. There are things that are going to come your way. There are things that are going to affect you on your journey. There are things that are going to distract you. But what makes people different and what makes people successful compared to the ones that are not successful is their commitment to being the best version of themselves. You know, it's their intention, it's them consistently trying, and that's all you can do, you know. So yes, guys, that's my little 2 pence for today. I hope you guys have enjoyed this little episode. You know, sometimes I just like to come and shake the tables and remind you guys of things that you need to do, so we can all build better and become the greater versions of ourselves. And like I always say, I'm on this journey with you. I'm not perfect, but I'm showing up daily, and that's what you need to do. Show up daily, you know, try your best, just keep going, and I'm sure you will get to where you need to be. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and catch me in my next one.